You know what? This is another thing about money. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to complain. This is going to upset all the brokies at home. There's nothing to fucking buy. Like, you buy 3 or 4 diamond watches. You buy a couple suits. You buy some cars. What else? What else is there to buy? You end up just spunking it on bottle shows and $10,000 steaks. There's nothing to buy. You can go on a holiday and travel, blah, blah, blah. But if you're actually looking for physical items, things to own and buy, there ain't much to buy. Okay, you can buy property. But property is a funny one for me because I'm very anti-governmental as a person, and I think that property is one of the big tools the Matrix uses to enslave. If I have a house XYZ, I got to make sure it's looked after, not broken into, the electricity's on, it's cleaned. I got to get someone on the ground. My assistant's got to deal with it. Now it's just got to be something to deal with. And once I got a bunch of money, what I really wanted more than anything was freedom. And I don't own anything. I don't have any hassle. Nothing's in my name. No government can take anything from me. You know, you get to a point of wealth where you kind of start thinking, do I want to have all this crap now I got to deal with? Really, you want peace of mind. And I have enough troubles in my head. I don't need to be worried about my mansion in Santa Monica, which has been broken into. And I don't even go there. Do you know what I mean? It's just long. So that's that. And then also what I was saying earlier about property being a tool to the Matrix. If you buy a $10 or $20 million property under a government, you can't piss that government off. You can't disagree with that government. You can't, if the tax authority of that government says you owe them money, you better fucking pay it. Or you're gonna lose a house. So once you escape the Matrix and you try and find a way to get your wealth outside of the system, then you can exist geographically anywhere. And once you can do that, then laws don't really apply to you. I don't have to be a law breaker. I don't have to be a criminal. I'll just go somewhere else, right? So property kind of ties you down, things tie you down. And if you look at the real high levels of wealth, if you look at the billionaires and stuff, they're trying to do the same thing. They don't own anything. They have a share in a company which owns a shell company in the Cayman Islands, which owns this subsidiary of a company in Dubai, which owns a boat that they can use.
Yep.
It's that Aikido. It's the same thing. Get out of the Matrix. That's what everyone's trying to do. Money does make life fun, but when you have limitations, you're better at living in the moment and you're better at appreciating things. So if I can go anywhere I want all the time with no limitations, I never have to turn up to a job. I don't have anything I have to do. I can go anywhere, right? And I got a plane waiting for me. But I think without those brokey days, without those original days to compare it to, without that juxtaposition, then I don't think being rich would be fun at all. I think it's only fun because you can compare it to the days when you weren't rich. That's the only thing that makes it fun. The only thing that makes a $10,000 steak fun is that you can laugh saying how you never had 10 grand in your bank till you were 27 years old.
Yeah.
Like otherwise it's boring. Otherwise okay, steak. And I think if you're born with too much money, that you'll never truly be happy. I think you need the brokey days. They're the best days, right? If you're driving at 200 miles an hour, you don't feel it. You only feel the acceleration getting to 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So if you're born at 200 miles an hour, it doesn't feel fast. It doesn't feel fun. My life feels fun now because of all the acceleration to get here, and I can remember the times when I was stuck by the side of the motorway without a car.
Yeah.
So I have that juxtaposition. Without that, it's not even interesting. It's not even fun. I always knew that even when I was fighting, and I was always trying to find a way to make money. Even when I was fighting, all I did was try different ways to make money. I tried a million things, and that's what you have to do. You have to try a bunch of things and learn a bunch of lessons until you finally find something that works. So I always knew there was outside of the Matrix, there were these people who were living in a way that money didn't have any significance. Money wasn't real to them. So I always knew it. I was always around it, especially through fighting. I went to a bunch of crazy countries, Kazakhstan, all these places. We're in Kazakhstan, a poor country. It's just G-Wagon, 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 G-Wagon. I'm like, what's going on? Like, there are people who are living outside the Matrix, and once you live outside of it, once you get to a certain level of incomes and wealth, everything becomes free. Like, when I was looking at the price of that water, no one else in that restaurant even looked at the price of anything. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like now. I don't know the price of anything I eat or buy. If it's not a house or a car, even most supercars, G, I don't even know. If I want the new Maserati, the MC20, the Spider, I'm just going to text my boy, yeah, fully spec, every option. And it's going to come out the bank and I ain't going to notice. Like, it doesn't make a difference. If I have 11.8 million or 11.4 million,
what difference
does it make? It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So you get to a point where the whole world's free. And then you start just buying stuff, not because you want it, but because it's completely free. So I always knew that kind of life existed. I used to talk with my brother about it all the time. I was like, bro, we're doing something wrong. Something doesn't add up. We're still thinking in terms of like make money, spend money, money in the bank. It doesn't. There's people who are living for free and they just point at things and they get everything they want. And my brother used to call me crazy. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, there's the Matrix. We're inside the system. We need to escape. And now I managed to find a way out. So I always knew it existed. I was always looking for it. And it does exist, man. You can get to a point of income. You can get to a point of wealth generation where literally everything, I don't know how else to say it. I want to say it in a more articulate way for the sake of the podcast. The only way I can explain it is everything is free. That's how I view the world. Everything's free. If I want something, it's free. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people can make. And one of the largest things that hold people back from wealth is the people around them. Not only because of the mindsets of the people around them, but also trying to find people around you who you can truly actually trust is difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult, man. I'm telling you, if you get 20 people, 20 full-grown men in a room, and they can trust each other completely and nobody's out to snake anyone, even if all 20 are working normal jobs, but they pool their spare income, you will be rich. You'll be fine. The problem is finding 20 people you can trust. Even with normal jobs, you could pool your spare income. You could buy cryptocurrencies. You could buy houses. You could do whatever you want to do. And you would find a way to escape the matrix. At least, maybe not to the insane levels, but you'd all be comfortable, right? By just pooling incomes. A lot of people don't understand that the entire world, the most valuable thing on the planet today is human capital. Even the people at the very, very top echelons of life, all they care about is controlling people. The people who are in charge of governments and stuff, all they care about is controlling people, making sure you do what they want you to do. I don't want to get too political and talk about Epstein's Island and all that crap. But once you get to a certain level of money, all they want is people. People are the most important thing. You can't have a business without people. You can't have a government without people. You don't have anything without people. So I don't see why you wouldn't have the people you're born with, who share blood with, and just do a handshake as men and say, okay, let's not fuck each other over. Let's get rich. Because now you're doubling your manpower, right? You're doubling up. So I think that I was always close with my brother and he's always been close with me because we are a team, and you need to have a team. And if you have a team, you stand a better chance. It's player versus player out here, man. It's on the street. It's not easy. For every dollar you make, for every pound you take, you took it from someone else. You don't make money, you take money. People don't understand the way that money works. You're not the Federal Reserve. You can't create money from thin air. Every single pound in your bank is money you took from someone else. And when I say take, I don't mean it in a negative way. You might have convinced them to give it to you. You might have a coffee shop. I'll give you a nice coffee. You'll give me some money. Cool. But you still took his money, right? So if you're out here trying to take stuff from other people, don't you want to have a team? You want to do it by yourself? You want to be Rambo?
Because if you get two of you doing it.
You get two of you. That's right. So the whole idea of this lone soldier, this Rambo, I'll do it all by myself, that's all dead, bro. You need to have a team. It's player versus player. And for the same reason, if you were out here on the street and you want to defend yourself, you want your boys around you. It's the same thing with trying to get rich. Problem is trying to find guys on your level. That's the hard part, right?
So you and Tristan have always been close then?
We've always been close since the beginning. Every single battle either of us had to face, we faced as a team.
Yeah.
And our battle to become rich, we faced as a team. We sat there and go, okay, we are going to get rich.